The copyright was required in January 2024. So this one is required 2022, right? January 2022. So how long has passed? How many years have passed? So January 2022, February, January 2023, and January 2024. So 2 years has passed, right? So this copyright was acquired 2 years ago, has an estimated useful life of 3 years. So the cost is 36,000. It has a useful life for 3 years. If I use straight line amortization, every year should be 12,000. So 12,000 times 3 years, that is your 36,000. So 2 years has passed. So 12,000 times 2. So that's this cumulative amortization, 24,000. And there's $12,000 left because there's 1 year remaining useful life. So you see, this is how the information tied in together, right? The trademark was acquired in January 2017. Is expected to have indefinite useful life. So you see the trademark here, 55,000. There's no cumulative amortization. Why? Because this trademark has indefinite useful life. So you don't do any amortization. Okay, you always record, keep that cost $52,000 for the trademark, no cumulative amortization on the trademark. Does this make sense? So far, does this make sense? So give me a sum up if you are good with this. Hello?
Hi, Professor. I'm a little bit confused, to be honest. I'm trying to understand. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So if you are confused, just stop me anytime. So let me know what's your question, right? So I can help you. So right now we are just explaining the intangible asset and the goodwill. So what's your question?
Oh, I don't have any questions specifically. I'm just trying to understand whole the whole exercise.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I see. So basically, the exercise giving us this information, they tell us that December 31st, 2023, this is the intangible asset, right? Copyright, trademark, and also goodwill. And this balance is as of December 31st, 2023. Okay. And they give us additional information. I'm trying to help you understand where this balance coming from. Okay, this information we're given, but I'm trying to help you understand why is this information. For example, this copyright, okay? So they were acquired in January 2022. So that is the 2 years before, 2 years ago, right? Because right now it's December 31st, 2023, which is the same as January 1st, 2024. So that's 2 years ago. You have acquired a copyright that worth $36,000, and the useful life is 3 years. So if you use straight line amortization, right? So 36,000 over 3 years, each year, that's the 12,000. Because 2 years has passed since January 2022, so the cumulative amortization is 12,000 times 2 years, which is this number, 24,000. And the carrying value is 12,000. So that's this copyright, okay? The trademark has indefinite useful life, just like land, right? PPE, land. Land has indefinite useful life. So in that case, you do not do the amortization depreciation. Now, we are talking about the following cash transactions may affect intangible assets during 2024. So these transactions happened in 2024. So January 2nd, the company paid $7,000 in legal costs to successfully defend the trademark against infringement by another company, right? So if another company used your trademark, your logo, your pictures on their product, so they make some money. That's called a trademark infringement. So to defend your position, you hire a lawyer, right, to file a legal suit against that the other company, right? So the question is, do you think this $7,000 will increase the value of the trademark, or it's just purely a legal expenses? So does the 7,000 is a capital expenditure will increase the value of the trademark, or the $7,000 is just purely a legal cost, legal expenses, right? What do you think?
I think it doesn't increase any value.
Yeah, it doesn't increase the value. Very good. So basically, you just maintain that trademark, right? Defending the trademark. So the $7,000 will not be an asset, will be not your intangible asset, right? This will be just your expenses. So you debit your legal cost, right? Legal fee, professional fee for 7,000, and then you credit cash for 7,000. So you can see it does not affect your asset account, right? It affects your expenses, but does not affect your long-lived asset account. So that's good. So July 1st, developed a new product, incurring $275,000 research cost and $50,000 development cost. A patent was granted for the product on July 1st. Its useful life equal to its legal life. Okay, so remember, research cost, these are expenses. Okay, research cost will be your expenses. However, development cost, this is your intangible asset. Okay, this is your intangible asset. So just remember this. For research cost, this will be your expenses. That goes to the income statement. But development cost, these are your intangible asset. Okay? So you have a pattern. You have a pattern. So you're gonna, for this entry, okay, you're gonna debit your pattern for how much? You debit your pattern, you debit your research cost, and you credit cash. So you spend in total 275 plus 50. In total, you spend $325,000 cash and 275,000. That's just your research cost. That's your expenses. The development cost, 50,000, becomes a patent, right? So here is you debit your patent. That's 50,000. So this is your intangible asset. Okay, that's your intangible asset. Does this make sense?
Yeah.
Just remember this. Yeah. Research cost is expenses, but development cost is your asset, intangible asset. Okay. Next, August 1st, paid $45,000 to a popular hockey player to appear in commercials advertising the company's products. the commercials will air in September and October. So you paid a hockey player $45,000 to appear in commercials advertising the company's product. The commercials will air in September and October 2024. So do you think this is an asset or it's advertising expenses, right? So basically, this is advertising company's product. Is this just advertising expenses, or it somehow intangible asset becomes an intangible asset? The company will benefit for multiple period of time. So what do you think?
It's just an expense, I
Yeah,
think
just
so.
expense. Yes. Yeah. So you just debit, right? Because it's only air for 2 months, right? You debit advertising expense for 45,000, and then you credit cash for 45,000. So it's not intangible asset. This is just expenses. And then October 1st, they acquired a second copyright for 168,000. The new copyright has an estimated useful life of 6 years. Okay, so this is the second copyright. Okay, and now December 31st, record annual amortization. Okay, so what do we have? So before we do the annual amortization, we need to know what asset do we have, right? So what asset do we have? We have copyright one. This one need to do a amortization, right? And we know every year, because this is 3 years. So in total, it's 36,000. We use straight line amortization over 3 years. So every year, the depreciation for copyright number one is 12,000. Trademark, do you need to do a amortization for trademark? Yes or no? Do you have to do an amortization for trademark? So the trademark have indefinite useful life, right? Do you need to do something with this for the amortization? Yes or no?
I'm not sure, to be honest.
Yeah. So if that trademark has indefinite useful life, that means you can use it forever, right? If something you can use it forever, its value does not decrease. The value will be retained, right? The value will not decrease. So therefore, you do not do amortization. Okay, so this is okay. What about goodwill? Do you need to do amortization for goodwill? The same idea. So for goodwill, it's intangible asset, right? Um, sorry, it's not intangible asset. Goodwill does not subject to amortization. So you don't have to calculate amortization here. Now, what do we have added to in the 2024? So these are the asset as of December 31st, 2023. During the year of 2024, we have some asset added on, right? So this one is just expenses. That's okay. This one, we have a patent. So this one need to be amortized. And this one is just advertising expenses. And also this one is a copyright. Okay. So let's take a look at the second copyright. So the second copyright, the cost is 168,000. I use a straight line amortization divided by the estimated useful life is 6 years divided by 6. But remember, we acquire it October 1st. So when we do an amortization calculation on December 31st, I only have October, November, December. I only have 3 months. Okay, so I have to do the proportion 3/12. Okay, so this will be the this will be the amortization for the second copyright. 168,000 divided by 6 divided by 4. So 7,000. So for the second copyright, the amortization for 2024 should be 7,000 for the period of the 3 months. For the copyright number 1, the annual amortization is just 12,000. We don't do any amortization for trademark or for goodwill. The only thing left is this patent here. A patent was granted for the product on July 1st. Its useful life is equals to the legal life. So the legal life, I think it's 5 years or 10 years. I forget the time. So basically, for the patent, what is the legal life patent? I forgot. Is that 10 years or 20 years? This is according to the Canadian law. The Canadian law will tell us what is the useful life for a patent, okay? And then we can do the calculation. So let's see. Okay, let me show you. Let me show you the solution. Okay. Okay, research expense, patent, prepaid advertising, copyright 2, amortization. Yeah, it's 20 years, okay? So the patent has a life of 20 years. And this is the copyright number 1, and added the copyright number 2. Yeah, so it's all here. I'm going to post the solution for this one as well.
Professor,